Welcome to the first Back in Time episode of our new 2022 season. Now, normally we would look at a certain month, but we're going to change things up. We are splitting the year into 4 and then looking at it in 3-month segments. To start off, we're looking at 1990, January, February, and March. What were the biggest games, films, TV, music, and also what was happening around the world? We take a look at the biggest stories as we go back in time.
Right, to start us off, I think we'll do films. It's seen as everyone loves a good film, and this is I can't remember what it was like at the time. I was only like 4 or 5. What the reception was like, but it's obviously a cult classic now. I'd be disappointed in you if you don't know this film if you listen to this. But this is Tremors.
Jeez, you guys better get the hell out of here. There's a killer on the loose. Who could be doing it?
Is that a snake?
I'll give you boys $5 for this. 20.
I know Lee's obviously seen this film, ain't you, Lee?
I love this film.
Everyone loves this film.
I love this film. I mean, like you said, I don't recall it when it came out, but I'm pretty sure I probably watched it. So obviously it came out in 1990. I think I probably watched it when I was a late teenager, so maybe 96 onwards. But I definitely didn't watch it. But I've told you this before. I never watched stuff when it first came out. I just always missed it at the cinema, and I would have it possibly on. I might have seen it on VHS, maybe.
Yeah.
Because that's just before sort of DVD was popular, wasn't it? But maybe saw it on VHS. But I have a feeling I watched it on TV, to be fair, in the late 90s.
I've got a very slight memory of watching it on VHS, and because my dad used to get horror films and let us watch them when we were kids. And I don't know when how old I would have been watching it. I don't think I would have watched it in 1990. I think it would have been a bit later than that, maybe 95 or something like that. And then definitely, I remember it being as a film that was on a lot of the telly. It was on quite often enough for me to keep it in my memory a lot. It's a really good film. I mean, I don't need to tell anybody that. It's about basically giant worms that.
So it's like Texas or something, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a desert sort of like. It's like it's within a mountain sort of basin, so it's all cut off this town, and someone's doing some blasting to build a new road or something, and underground they've removed some rock with this blasting and these graboids, they call them. They coined the phrase.
Graboids.
Yeah, which I always found a little bit weird. Yeah, they do grab you because they're like a snake mouth out of the worm body thing.
Yeah.
But they're basically dinosaur worms that's been living underground for years, and now they've come up and
it's as if they were dormant, as if they were just kind of like we're just hanging about, and then suddenly. Oh, there's a weird shaky noise. But they haven't appeared in the decades before, because clearly that town's been there a while.
Yeah.
So they came out of nowhere. I really think that there's some sort of origin story to them and where they actually come from. I think it's in one of the later... Because there's like 25 Tremors.
Yeah, there's there's flying ones and walking ones, and there's later on. But...
So the first film, I know is good. And I believe, I've spoken to someone who loves these. I believe the second one is pretty good. I think the rest are subject to your preference in quality of film. But first Tremors, solid. Just to say as well, just about our film list, we're not doing it in terms of, we're not showing you any rankings, any ratings. We're just talking about those films which came out January, February, March that were big and that did well. So there's probably plenty of films out that you saw that you probably loved, but we're skipping them. We're just looking at the ones that kind of we're interested in, the ones that did good. Tremors, solid.
Love them or hate them, this is where they came out these years. So that's the only way we've organised this is just how it's come out.
I've watched Tremors. I've actually watched Tremors with Holly, who's my youngest daughter, and she really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So
my kids loved it.
It's fun. It is fun.
It did scare me when I was a kid, though. I remember because there's a bit where there's like a farmer or something and he's in his field, and then they come across him later on. It's just a hat on the ground, and they pick the hat up, and it's like his head. Like
I was going to say, was in his head on the floor.
Yeah. And that scared me as a child, but not enough to stop me from watching it again. But it obviously, which we've not mentioned, stars Kevin Bacon, which is the best actor for this sort of thing. It plays a very good redneck, like Jim will fix it. I was probably going to say that, but sort of person, handyman,
Yeah, so a quick description. A small town is invaded by what they call graboids, and they have to figure out a way to survive and, of course, kill the giant worms. Starring Kevin Bacon, and I added this last bit in, arguably his best film ever. For me, if I think of Kevin Bacon, I go to Tremors. Now, it's probably been some other stuff that's really good. He was in The Invisible Man, which wasn't the best film.
Hollow Man, yeah.
Sorry, was it Hollow Man?
Yeah.
Was that where he played the Invisible Man, but it was Hollow Man.
Yeah.
And I know there's a handful of other things, and he currently stars in adverts for like Vodafone or some shit. I can't remember. He's EE. Oh god, is Vodafone even a thing anymore? I can't even remember. I've lost the plot. It's Tesco Mobile EE and 3. That's all I can remember.
Yeah.
Used to be like a good 6 or 7, didn't there?
They all bought each other up, didn't they? And conglomerated.
Orange disappeared. Yeah. T-Mobile. Good lord, what are we on about? Second film on our list.
We've got Brain Dead.
There is a limit, even to the imagination.
Halsey was working on something big. Cornerstone technology.
Now, this is one I haven't seen, and funnily enough, for one of our other episodes, we watched a film that was of the same name, which I thought was terrible, by the way, the Australian one. But this is not the Australian one. This is the Bill Paxton, Bill Pullman, both the Bills, double bill film, and it's a showdown of... I've got
2, quite frankly, amazing bills, let's be honest.
Yeah, do you know, if you would have asked me if these 2 bills had been in a film, I would have said no. But here we have it. Yeah, I never knew it. I haven't seen this film. I've seen trailers and heard speak of it, but I might have watched it when I was little, but I can't remember.
I've heard of this film a lot. It's like it comes up in conversation. Oh, there's that crazy film. Read the description and you start that interrupt us.
It is a showdown of man versus machine. Martin plunges into a chaotic nightmare trying to save his mind from a megalomaniac corporation. And then starring Bill Pullman, Bill Paxton. It sounds like a good film, but we'll have to watch it. Maybe we'll, if it's bad, which I sort of hope it is, maybe we'll cover it.
I'm going to think I think it's a bit of a cult classic, and I think from what I can make out, it's not the worst film.
Yeah.
Right, so I'm going to jog on to these 2 films now, which mean probably a bit more to me than yourself. So during the late 80s, early 90s, I'm a big martial arts fan, always watching martial arts films. Now, No Retreat, No Surrender was a film that starred Jean-Claude Van Damme, bear with me, and it came out like 88 or something. One of his earlier films. Wasn't the best film. I want to say it wasn't the worst, but to be honest with you, it just wasn't the best film. It was an early Jean-Claude Van Damme film, and take it or leave it. Now this is No Retreat, No Surrender 3.
The first was for honor. The second was for revenge. This time,
The only thing that was keeping us together is dead.
it's family. No retreat, no surrender. 3.
Which doesn't star Jean-Claude Van Damme, and in fact it's kind of like totally different. But they've took the name and they've just dragged it out over several more films, and of course this is number 3 that came out early 1990. Starring Lauren Avedon, who was in various other martial arts stuff, including he was in the second one. So description. So starring Lauren Avedon, who was in the second film, but not the first, which of course had the great, and I honestly is amazing, Jean-Claude Van Damme. Keep in mind, the first film was in fact sort of shit, and it had some weird scenes which involved the spirit of Bruce Lee. I remember watching, big Bruce Lee fan. I remember watching this and just being like, really don't like this. It's kind of weird. It's kind of awkward, and that's kind of all I've got for that. But in the same vein, martial arts, I'm going to talk about Chyna OBrien. Chyna OBrien 2.
She's a sheriff without a gun. A daughter without a father.
Should I do, Dad?
And a woman without fear.
Came out early 1990s. Now, some people might be aware of Cynthia Rothrock, but I'm going to think that most people aren't aware of Cynthia Rothrock. She was this, in the world of like martial arts films, 80s, 90s, she was championing the Western woman. And if you're a teenage boy who was into martial arts and didn't have a crush on this woman, I wrote it here, inappropriate not, you're probably gay. She, good looking girl, big thigh, she was on it. She kicked the shit out of everyone. Chyna OBrien 2 came out early 1990 and was a banger. Fun film. Just it's a no-brain film. It's you know, she's a detective and then she kicked the crap out of the bad guys. What more did you need in a film in 1990? I'm not sure you needed much more than that.
I don't think I've seen that. I've seen No Retreat, No Surrender. I'm not sure about number 3.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen number 3 actually. But if you search up Cynthia Rothrock, Chyna OBrien was kind of like her big sort of films. But she did loads. She did loads of good films, and she's all right. I mean, I say good for 80s, 90s martial arts films that were, you know, had about
good for its time.
Had about $20 budget, you know, that kind of thing. But and we kind of played over the same. It was the same ritual of here's a cop. There might have been a bad cop. Here's some bad guys. Generally, often as well, that should be fighting against the bad guys that were, you know, maybe Chinese or Japanese, and because the idea is that they were the best at martial arts, and she was kicking the crap out of them. Of course, it came across a bit awkward for them, but they're like, "Oh my god, I've been kicked the shit out of this blonde woman." Yeah, I enjoyed the Chyna OBrien films. I'm not going to slag him off. I mean, would I watch him again? Maybe. But maybe not. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I'll let you have that then. Yeah, I'll give her a Google.
Watch a trailer. Just watch a trailer. And to be honest, you watch a trailer, you've got the film. That's all you need. You know what I mean?
I'll probably know what it is straight away. Just the name, just not ringing any bells whatsoever.
Yeah, probably. You'll see them thighs and you'll be like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I should have Googled this later at night. Yeah. See what you mean.
Right. In bed.
Yeah. Right. Next film is Nightbreed.
Clive Barker, creator of Hellraiser, brings you a reason to really be afraid of the dark. Nightbreed.
And I haven't seen this one, but wait till you hear the description, because this is Lee's description. I want to watch it now. It was written by the legend that is Clive Barker, which everybody knows who Clive Barker is.
Oh, right. Just going off one thing. I knew about Nightbreed from seeing it as a PC game, and it's like a crappy tiny little shop that was dingy and had like Commodore 64 games and cassettes on walls, and it was just odd. I remember seeing the front of that and just thinking, Jesus, that looks terrifying, and just putting it back down and going off to find like Paperboy. It was that sort of a situation. I was obviously a lot younger, but please read my description.
Yeah, the legendary Clive Barker, and this is about a mythical place called Midian, and there's a group of friendly monsters hiding from humanity, and there is a sadistic serial killer looking for a patsy. Now, if you're not tantalised by that, you need to go home and just craze
We've got
sleep.
Friendly monsters, mythical places, serial killers. What's not to
Clive
like?
Barker.
Clive Barker, what's not to like? Get your ass in gear and watch it. I have not watched it, and I feel bad after reading the description, but I think I'm still terrified from that cassette case from when I was little. But I think it's one I think we need to watch. Maybe it would be worth watching and talking about. Like,
do a review on it, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. I think it could be we do want to do some like odd film reviews. I think that maybe that could come through. Jumping on to the next film, a favourite film of mine. It's not like top 10 or anything. I just really like this film. Every couple of years I'll watch it and I just enjoy it. Hunt for Red October.
British intelligence obtained these pictures 2 days ago. She's the Red October, the latest Typhoon class. Captain's name is Ramius. He's taken out the lead boat in each new subclass for the last 10 years.
Just before he sailed, he posted a letter to Admiral Yuri Padorin in which he announced his intention to fire his missiles on the United States.
And it's Sean Connery at his finest. He's playing a Russian submarine commander who basically goes rogue, goes over to America. It's to do with secret technology, the Cold War. It has this brilliance where it's all set in submarines underwater. It's tense. I love it. I absolutely love it. Sean Connery, I see him as being one of the finest actors. He's just fantastic, and he's got his beard as well, so he's a lot older and more mature than what you might think of him from, because a lot of people sometimes connect him to like Bond, whereas of course he was clean shaven, the handsome, tall, clean shaven man. This one looks gruffer. He's got a brilliant voice. Hunt for the Red October, solid film, and I didn't realize it was 1990. I would have said it was like, if you'd asked me, I might have said like 98 or something. But, Hunt for Red October. It's brilliant. A good cast as well. Won't go into the full cast, but brilliant cast. It was a 90s cast, and all of them amazing. Do you remember the next film on our list? Does that ring a bell?
No, I don't. This is House Party.
There's a party tonight at Peter's house. Can I go?
You're not going nowhere. Every little step you take will be around this bedroom tonight.
Did you hear anything about a party tonight? At least not any good ones.
Which I don't know what it is. It's featuring Christopher Reid and Christopher Martin as kid and player. It was a very popular film at the time. They get invited to a house party and basically everything goes wrong. So this to me says very early, like 5-10 years. American Pie sort of teen comedy, sort of road trip sort of thing.
Yeah. So it's one of those teenagers. It was a black comedy set like in this neighborhood, and I have seen it, but years ago, and I do remember it was very fun. And I believe it also spawned several more films, which I believe had the same actors in.
Yeah.
And also, I think there was a cartoon series from it as well. Kid and Play. I can't remember if it was Kid or Play. One of them was sort of paler and taller. One was darker and shorter. And one of them had this amazing... It's got like a name, but this hair that's kind of... It's obviously it's like afro hair, but it goes straight up.
Yeah.
It's like a flat top. But it's a high flat top.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a high top. No, that's a trainer, isn't it? Maybe he had a trainer on his head, and I just didn't realise. Just great cult comedies there in House Party. Your favourite film next?
Yeah, this is one I've actually seen. Pretty Woman by the gerbil-loving Richard. A film about a rich man that basically gets a prostitute and falls in love with her. That's what that film is.
It's no more complicated than that.
No, it spoils her. She likes money. And she likes being with money, so that's the takeaway message of that film.
I mean, she's obviously had a bit of a bad life, whatever. Meets Richard Gere. He needs like a date for the weekend or something, isn't it? So they go and stay at this hotel and basically fall in love. What's more to it? I actually think it's a good film. I won't lie.
Yeah,
I've seen it a couple of times and I've got no issues with it. I'm like, it is what it is.
Yeah, it's not my favourite film, but it's nowhere near my worst film. I'll watch it if it's on. So
yeah, it's better than that Brain Dead.
Yeah, that wasn't a good one.
Shit, possibly the shittest film we've ever watched. Actually.
Yeah,
not even shit in a good way. Shit in a bad way.
Next one is one that I've seen, but it's a very long time ago, and I wasn't impressed, but only because I think I was a kid. And it's like slated as like his best film ever made. It's Dances with Wolves.
Just hear that you've been decorated, and they sent you here to be posted.
Actually, sir, I'm here at my own request.
Why?
I've always wanted to see the frontier.
You want to see the frontier?
Yes, sir. Before it's gone.
With Kevin Costner. Basically makes friends with some Native Americans and everyone hates him for it.
Don't they all say he's like, but it's a bit racist, this film now?
Yeah,
isn't it like frowned upon? But isn't it?
I think people have fallen out of love with it. Definitely.
I remember it as being a film. I think it was one of the first films that I heard of as being quite long. Like it was like 2.5, 3 hours long or something like that. I looked through the cast as well. A lot of the Native Americans. Do you say native? I don't know what to say. You don't say Indians, do you? Native Americans. The First Nation tribes, I think, is another. I like that. I like the sound of the First Nation tribes. There's loads of brilliant actors in it. You look at it, I recognised a lot of them that have been in many other films as well. Not only films about cowboys and Indians, which basically was kind of like what this was. So yeah, he's a soldier. I don't remember how he gets involved with them, but he ends up meeting a tribe and befriends them, and everyone hates him for it. I think I might watch it again. I think it might be worth another watch at some point when I've got a day spare. So I'm gonna have the next one, which is it is actually a favourite of mine. Definitely top 20, might even be top 10. Black Rain.
A New York City cop on the trail of a killer from the back alleys of Manhattan.
Our victims are certainly Yakuza.
To the streets of Japan.
For a start, have you seen Black Rain?
I don't think I have. Maybe not, but my memory's shot, so I'm going to say no.
Okay, so Black Rain, it features Michael Douglas. He's an American cop. He gets involved with, I think he witnesses a murder in like a cafe, chases down the murderer, and it ends up being this young mafia boss. Spoilers. Young mafia boss. Is it spoilers when it's 32 years later? Yeah.
Spoiler for me.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. All right. I won't tell you the ending. So he meets this. It's all at the beginning. Gets involved with this young mafia boss, Sato. Yeah, Sato. 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 I think they pronounce it differently as well in the film. You know, the Japanese pronounce it different. No, it's definitely Sato, I believe. The Japanese pronounce it different to the Americans. But yeah, so they get involved with this guy and they end up going back to Japan because he's like, look, I'll take him back. They go back, shit hits the fan. It just all over the place. There's an unexpected death in this film of one of the characters, which I remember the first time I was just like, what? But I watch it again, I'm like, okay, because it kind of adds to the whole next part of the story. Just brilliant. It's gritty. It has the grittiness of like Blade Runner. I think it is Ridley Scott as well, to be fair. It's just dark. There's that dark Tokyo. It's raining. There's the neon lights. There's that side of Tokyo that you often see in films is portrayed really well in this, and I love it. I can watch it. You know, I watch it every year, but I like to watch it on my own. I just like to sit down and just watch it. I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna put Black Rain on. I'll put it on, sit down, and I'll just enjoy it for myself. I don't care if nobody else likes it in my house. It's a film for me, and we all have these films for ourselves. And this is one of them. Just there's a great line in it. I normally get kissed before I get fucked. Comes across very tacky when he says it, but I love it, so I don't care. Just it's one of those like crap lines that you hear, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, brilliant. I'm giving you're having the next one because this is. I think most people have seen this. Our age, I know it's the old. I'm a little bit older. Whatever, we're the same generation essentially. We watched this. We enjoyed it. We talk about this with our friends and go for it.
I'm not going to abbreviate it because I hate abbreviating it because it needs to be said with its full name. It's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
There is a new enemy, freaks of nature. Together, we will punish these creatures.
What the heck was that?
Looked like sort of a big turtle in a trench coat.
This is the first one, and for anyone that hasn't seen it, ignore everything from Future. These are the films that you need to watch. I love these films. This was actually the first film I went to the cinema to watch. Yeah, so I got to go to the cinema to watch this. I remember going with my uncle to watch it. I mean, it could have been the second one or the third one, but I don't know. I don't think it was the third one. That's the samurai one, isn't it?
Turtles in Time.
Yeah. But I love it. It's voiced by loads of famous people that are good at doing voices. Corey Feldman's one of them. I think he plays Leonardo.
Does he?
What is one of them?
Get out of town.
Yeah.
Does he?
Yeah, I'm sure other voices are quite famous people.
Keep
and all.
talking. I'm googling this.
Yeah.
Go on.
And you get these actors, not the same voice actors. The actors, or I'm going to say the stunt doubles, dressed up like the turtles in like animatronic sort of mouth moving suits, and it looks beautiful. Loads of sword fighting, loads of nunchucking, fighting the goons and everything. I don't think in this one you get
it's the Foot Clan.
The Foot Clan. Yeah, I wanted to say putties, but that's Power Rangers, isn't it?
It's the same, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah, the Power Rangers majorly rips off this, but it's one of them kids' films that I love, and I haven't watched this with my kids because I don't want them to hate it, and I think they would hate it. It is quite cheesy and quite tacky, but in a very good way.
You can tell they're not real. It's a turtle. It's a turtle. Of course, it's not real.
It's the 6 foot man turtle. I don't think Rocksteady and Bebop's in the first one.
And they've all got matching bandanas and shit. Oh, they're sorry, not bandanas, like the eye masks, aren't they?
Yeah.
Why do they have them on? Is it just so they don't look like turtles?
So they can tell each other apart, I think. That's the other. They just look exactly the same other than bandanas and belt. Or
but they
whatever.
don't. They are actually different shades of green, aren't they?
Yeah.
And remember in the cartoon, they were all slightly different. Right.
Yeah.
So Corey Feldman, he plays Donatello.
Oh, is it Donatello?
Yeah.
I knew we were one of them.
And the other ones I don't know.
I think they're quite big names, but within like voiceover work. The others, I think he was the only actor, but the rest are like. If you've watched any cartoon in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, you're going to have heard the Turtles' voices somewhere.
So I'm on the IMDb and I'm looking at Michael. Now, Michelangelo, I don't know if it's his voice or the actor that, that's the suit, but the profile picture for him is a Ferengi.
Oh, is it
Michael Sisti, his name is.
It's not Quark, is it?
So he, was it Michael was born in San Juan, Puerto Rico, U.S. Army family, blah, blah, blah. His works include Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Second, The Muppets. What does he play? So he's known for the Turtles. He was also in Lost in Space from 1998. Men in Black. What does he play? He plays Michelangelo and the Pizza Man. That's his. So he played Toll in Bloodlines Next Generation. So he was a Ferengi called Toll in an episode called Bloodlines. Picard races the Ferengi in an effort to track down the son he never knew he had. That's that's the description of that one.
I remember that episode.
Interesting.
Yeah.
See what we've learned.
Yeah. Always learning lots of stuff. Do you want to hit us with the next one?
Yeah. So, love him or hate him. Currently, I'll be honest, it's a bit odd, isn't he?
He's a little bit eccentric.
He needs to. He needs to retire. He's like massive beard, and the thing is with this guy, there was often speculation about him being an utter liar.
Yeah.
He fabricated his whole past, his persona. It was all bullshit. It was all just made up in order to be popular. Now, the person I'm on about is Steven Seagal. Because very famously, Jean-Claude Van Damme offered to fight Steven Seagal. There was a party, I've read about this numerous times. He turned around, and we even witnessed this. He turned around and just went, right, enough of your bullshit. Let's get outside. Let's fucking get down. Let's get down to it. Come on, Mr. Aikido man, Jean-Claude Van Damme. He's offering him out. Apparently, he just turned around and went, no, I'm not fighting you. Hard to Kill.
Steven Seagal is Mason Storm, a cop working undercover until his cover was blown.
Came out 1990. Arguably one of his best. He had like maybe 4 or 5 of these films, which were all very good, all very similar. Generic Seagal film. There was a collection of these. Many, after he had like this, so Jean-Claude Van Damme, Steven Seagal, there's a few others as well. They had like 5 to sort of 7 good films, and then they kept churning films out, but unfortunately, they didn't do very well. I think Steven Seagal fell off. I think Under Siege might have been one of his biggest and also best films, but after that, I think a lot of them weren't very good. Under Siege 2 was okay. It was Under Siege 1 on a boat, 2 was on a train. There wasn't the third, but after Under Siege, as far as I'm concerned, I think pretty much went downhill. I'm a big Seagal fan at the time. He was a little bit different because he used Aikido, which was a kind of a less powerful, rigid martial art. It's all about flexibility in terms of redirecting your fighting sort of combatants' energy and throwing them around and wrist locks, and brilliant to watch, but very theatrical. Same with a lot of the displays that you would watch. I've seen Aikido firsthand, and it's very theatrical. And you kind of watch it just thinking, I could twat him. Yes, that's the attitude. I think Aikido has never made it big in real fighting situations because it is a little bit like I don't think that'd work.
Dancer.
And I think
more showy,
especially demo wise. I mean, there's actually a lot of moves in it which are very effective, but only under certain circumstances. There's certain wrist locks which are very good. And, I was taught quite a few when I was younger that are very effective, but it has to be the right circumstance for it. And when it is, these things work and they hurt. So, but what you see in the films is very, very far fetched. compared to a lot of other fighting stuff. Some stuff you can believe. Like, even in the UFC, I've seen people do flying side kicks and spinning kicks, which you'd often were told would never work, but do work if you catch them just right. So yeah, hard to kill Steven Seagal. Next film, I'll start, so if you don't mind, Lord of the Flies. I saw a trailer for this when I was young and decided never to watch it because, quite frankly, it terrified me.
Miles from civilization. No sign of rescue.
Doesn't matter who's in charge. We've just got to work together.
And I avoided it, and I still haven't watched it to this day. But I watched the trailer again recently when doing research for this, and to be honest with you, I think it looks like a film I want to watch. Have you seen Lord of the Flies?
I have. I only recently watched it. Maybe it's 3 years ago, 2 years ago. We're on Netflix. It might still be on there, so get a go if it is.
I haven't seen it pop up anywhere.
I'm pretty sure it was Netflix. I watched it on it because I'd always heard loads of things about it because it's a book in it. It's like originally.
I believe it was a novel.
Yeah. And it's like it always seemed to fit in the To Kill a Mockingbird, Of Mice and Men, Animal Farms like genre of books. And it is a good film. I know it's referencing lots of things. The film is actually quite good. It's not one of my favourite films because it's one of them films where you've watched it once and I don't think you need to watch it again. It's like Schindler's List or something like that. It's like because it's quite hard to watch some parts of it. It's basically some lads crash land. I think the scout group or something crash land somewhere on what they think's an island. That's not a spoiler.
Oh shit! I thought it was. Fuck.
Yeah, well, they think it's an island, and they're surviving and trying to live.
It's not. It's actually Cornwall. Is that what it is? It's right on the edge. So they didn't go far enough to realise that they could. Is something stupid like that? They just needed to go a bit further and go, fuck. We're actually okay.
They are quite close to civilization, and they don't. I don't think they realise it. Well, they don't. And basically crash, and like their scout leader or something is wounded quite bad, and a couple of the boys take care of him and try and nurse him and help him back up, and then there's some sort of to want a better word, dickhead lads that just think that they like trying a bit alpha, trying a bit macho. So we need to do this.
They split, don't they? They split into separate groups. One is trying to survive and be more normal. Normal. Do I do that? Normal. And the other lot are like, we will hunt, we will kill. They've got really tribal, haven't they? And they're quite aggressive. And, you know, I saw the trailer. I was like, this is just like being at school.
It's like school, but then no supervision and anything goes. So it all just erupts into chaos. They're fighting each other. There's resources that like water and food and stuff which they fight over and all sorts of stuff, and then it like comes to a bit of a head where one of the boys is killed by one of the other boys, and then that's like everyone sort of like snaps out of it a little bit, and they're like, oh shit, what we're doing, what's going on. I won't say anymore because I've probably spoke most of it, but it is a good film.
I feel like I've just watched it.
Well, you need to, there's still a little bit more that you need to get, so I've left plenty out. But yeah, it is a good film, worth a watch. I didn't think it was 1990 to be honest, but there we go. I'm sure there's some famous faces in it, but I can't. I want to say what's it called now? Joaquin Phoenix's brother's in it. Do you know who died? River Phoenix. I want to say River Phoenix is in it, but I think it's just a lad that looks like him. I'm sure there is some famous faces, but that's about it for that film. Do you want me to do the next one, or you
go for it? No, go for it.
This is a film I forgot existed. Right?
I did until I noticed it. I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, because this film did my head in as a kid because of the music. Do you want to sing the tune if you can remember it?
I can't. No,
that was just all over 90s. That tune was that's just 1990 for me, is remembering that stupid tune. If you know, you know. It's Nuns on the Run.
What is this place? We'll never get to the airport. The place will be crawling with cops. What are we going to do?
And what is your name?
Sister and Violata of the Immaculate Conception.
And yours?
Sister Euphemia of the Five Wounds.
Well, I don't know if I know this.
You know.
It's Eric Idle and Robbie Coltrane, and they steal a load of money from some other gangsters because they're also gangsters, and they dress up as nuns. Yeah, people they think that this would pass two men, especially Robbie Coltrane with a bit of weight on him, as nuns, and they try to hide. And this is obviously a British comedy. I did forget it existed, and I think a lot of other people have likely as it's sort of filtered away. I think it's a bit like Fish Called Wonder and stuff around that time. But this one didn't. I don't know if Sister Act came out around the same time, and I think a lot of people were expecting like similar things, but Sister Act is obviously the better film.
1992, by the way, 92.
92, yeah. And they improved on the dressing as a nun to hide situation on Sister Act. But yeah, have you got any memories of nuns on the run other than Robbie Coltrane wearing a habit?
I have like a loose memory, but it's not. It doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah,
like Nuns on the Run. I remember it was a comedy, and that's it. And I think I remember nuns running down a road. That's all I've got. Yeah. So, I mean, I know it's British. I know it was something to do with crime, and they were pretending to be nuns to hide from other criminals, weren't they?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's one of those films which I think you might. It's sort of like a carry-on film.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd be able to watch it again. But,
yeah, I wouldn't recommend.
I'm glad it existed at the time. It definitely fit into some kind of like comedic hole.
Yeah.
That's it for films. And to be honest, I think there's a couple of bangers in there, a couple of big films that warrant being on the list, and some that we can forget about. But that's how it goes, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we're gonna look at some games. I'll do the first three if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So 1990 would have been 4 years after Aliens came out. Aliens was like in 86, I think, 84. I think it was 86. Someone's going to crucify me for not having the proper fact there. Rich, my boss, he listened to a podcast. He went, "Well, you don't do facts, you just go loose." I went, "Yeah, we are loose. Sometimes we don't need to fact check. It's fine. It's fine, Rich. Sometimes you don't fact check. Sometimes you go, I think it's about that time. It's fine.
We can't do all the work. The listeners have got to do a little bit of the work."
So yeah, if you're listening to this, Rich, if you could just look up when Aliens came out, I think it was 86. Pop it in the comments, mate. We value our comments. Just
get
go
your finger
for it.
out, Rich. Yeah.
Exactly. So Aliens, an arcade game came out, a run and gun shooter based on the film, but it doesn't look that much like the film. The aliens are like purple, but it was fairly popular, and I'll put a clip in here. Hope you enjoyed that. That's what it looks like. I know it was a short clip, but no long clips on here. I actually have played the game in an arcade years ago because I do have a memory of it. Yeah, so that was as far as Aliens game, I think the best Alien game came out a few years ago was Alien Isolation, wasn't it? Which I still haven't finished because I was terrified of it, and I put it down and forgot to pick it up again. Going on to another game that came out during this time was Golden Axe. But it came out in Japanese arcades, not over here. We've played it. We quite enjoyed it, although we had a bad connection, didn't we? So it was a bit shit on it. But great classic game. Sits next to Streets of Rage as one of those top early on Mega Drive games. And the third one I'll mention is, I like to think if you're our age and you went into an arcade, you would remember this.
You would have wasted a lot of money.
Yeah, or just looked at it and just gone, "Oh, that one's broke. I'm not going to can't play it." Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The 4-player arcade side-scrolling beat 'em up came out very much in the same as Streets of Rage. You'd go from left over to the right. You can pick a turtle to be, and I believe the meta for this was to be Donatello because his staff was really long and it would take out more enemies. It actually worked. He actually had an advantage on how much reach his staff. So you just keep spamming him, swinging his bloody stick around, and he just take out the whole screen. Just a brilliant game. I've played it quite a few times. It's an amazing looking arcade cabinet. I believe it's one of those ones that people always want to have. If they've got a collection, it's one of those. We need one of those, along with like Mortal Kombat and various other ones. I think Daytona Racing is quite a popular arcade cabinet. And if you'd like to mention the next three.
Yep, we've got Super Mario Brothers 3. I mean, we can't not have a Super Mario Brothers because
that was one of the best ones as well, apparently.
Yeah. I enjoyed that one. I like all the Marios apart from some of the later ones, but the side-scrolling 16-bit, 32-bit graphics or 8-bit even as well are some of the best. Then we've got Too Crude, which is not what I don't remember it. I looked at a quick picture and it sort of tickled me.
So it was basically like a knockoff Streets of Rage, but it had these big beefy guys like ooh, woo, woo, and they came across a lot more dumber and stupid. Streets of Rage was ultimately more superior as a game, and not a lot of people remember the. I think it was also as Too Crude, but I also came across it as Too Crude Dudes. I'm not 100% exactly what the title was. It was one of those where I was searching it and I was coming with both. So Too Crude / Too Crude Dudes. Very odd, crap looking game.
It was that sort of era where stuff had like 18 different names because of region issues and copyright.
You couldn't call it one thing somewhere else because it meant something different. So if I look it up now, it actually comes up as right. So, okay. This is interesting. So there's a Mega Drive game that's called Too Crude Dudes, but the arcade released in Asia as Crude Buster. This is what I mean. Why couldn't you just call it Too Crude? Crude Buster in Asia, Too Crude and Too Crude Dudes. We've got 3 different titles there. Let's just stick to one.
Let's just play Streets of Rage instead.
Let's just play, because if anything, just for the opening music.
Yeah.
I've put that game on before, listened to the opening music, and then I've just turned it off. Just gone, that's actually all I needed, and then I've just turned it off. And you've added this one on because I didn't come across this on my research.
Yeah, I didn't look when it came out. I think it came out a couple of years before, but it hit home consoles, and it didn't come out. I know it didn't come out in 1990. January to March, but it was the top-selling game at the time. I'm guessing it came out at Christmas just before '89, and it's Paperboy. I mean,
you're gonna have a shot when you know when he came out. I've just looked up. Go on, carry on.
Everyone who's anyone has ever played Paperboy from that age because it is one of the best games. I loved playing Paperboy. I loved hitting people in the face, stopping burglars, smashing windows. I'm making it sound better than it is, but it was really good.
Played it and been very bad at it.
Yeah, it is. It's one of them games where it can piss you off really bad because you go down that road and for some reason you hit a grate and you fall off, or some little idiot with a remote control car crashes into you and you come flying off, and then there's all that crap with. For some reason, before you can get paid for your job that you've just done, you have to do some sort of like weird obstacle course, which never made any sense to me. I would have just moved on. Yeah, you Google some screenshots of that. Were weird. You're like jumping through hoops in like other rivers and stuff. Like you'd get to the end of your street and it'd tell you how many houses you missed. And I like the little newspaper like summary that you got, like Paperboy calls it quits, like when you died and stuff.
That would be me. Fuck it. Yeah. So, did you ever have a paper round?
No, I didn't. No.
So I had a weekday one and I had a Sunday one. I had Saturdays off. On my Sunday round, I used to go around to this woman's house, and I think this is my experience. This is my Paperboy experience. I went round and a dog used to like fucking have a right go mess. So I turned around to the woman. I was only like 14. I turned around and went, "If your dog touches me, I'm gonna fucking kick it." I remember saying, and it wasn't like me at all. I just went, "Your dog comes too close to me, I'm just gonna let you know. I'm gonna go and kick it."
Yeah.
And it was me just saying, keep your dog away from me. You want me to deliver a paper through your door? I'll do it. But you need to keep your dog on the other side of that gate, or I'm gonna defend myself. Anyway, she reported me to my boss. And my boss says to me, "You know, that's like my mother-in-law or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm sorry, but a dog keeps coming after me, and I told you now. I'm just letting you know that I'm going to kick it. He went, that's fair, but you can't say that to people. And I was like, that was my first experience of thinking, of being told that you can't say stuff to people. And I was like, okay, fine. I won't kick them. Well, what did I say to him? I won't say it to her again. Just going to let you know, I will kick it if it comes too close. And he was like, that's fair. And I was like, okay. Which I love that, because he was like, yeah, that's fair, but just don't tell her. She knew anyway. She knew now, so we didn't have to have that discussion again, did we? Paperboy. So Paperboy came out in 1985.
There were a couple of like iterations of it. Like when it originally came out, it was terrible graphics.
Yeah,
the graphics got better as it went on.
Paperboy 2 came out in 1991 as well. I wonder how well that one sold. But yeah, so it came out, but it like I say, it would have been. It got ported to a lot of different systems in '86, but clearly it was still selling well. And like you say, it sold exceptionally well in early 1990s. It's ridiculous, isn't it? How well a game can do nowadays. Nowadays, games sell good for like a month, and then you don't see them again, do you? Until they do a retexture a couple of years later or some bullshit. Yeah, so that's it for games anyway. January TV we're looking at now. January, Mr. Bean came out. I love Mr. Bean. Did you like Mr. Bean?
I loved Mr. Bean.
Everyone loved Mr. Bean. He's just a British bumbling talk like that a little bit, and used to drive his Mini around and do stupid stuff.
Yeah.
It was so stupid, but it was like, I get it. Everything he did was ridiculous, but it was like, I get that. 100% get why he's doing that. And everyone knows a Mr. Bean. I like to think everyone knows one that's a bit of a bumbling idiot and just fumbles his way through life. You probably pick on him at work or something, but that's Mr. Bean. Classic TV show. I had quite a few seasons as well. And wasn't there a couple of films and a cartoon, I believe?
Yep, and my son, when he was little, watched that cartoon. Lewis, he loved that. He even had the little bear, but it was a cartoon version, not the proper one.
Yeah. Whereas, if you can be exposed to Mr. Bean in one way or another, I think you're winning in life.
Yeah.
Do you want to mention the second? Did you watch that by any chance?
It's ringing a bell. This, and I think I did watch this. I would have watched it on repeat at on BBC Two at 11
like
at night.
Sci-Fi or when that was a thing. I think it was always on there. So Alien Nation was a film.
Yeah.
About aliens that came down and basically stayed here. They couldn't leave Earth.
The historic first view of the newcomer ship upon its dramatic arrival. Their ship was a slave ship carrying 250,000 beings.
They had to stay here, so we integrated them into society, but then people were like racist to them. Is it racism? Xenophobic or whatever?
Basically District 9, but in the 90s.
Yeah, no. It is less gritty, and there was also a drug that they'd have which turned them into monsters and stuff. It was just like, wow. I enjoyed it, and he got cancelled after one season though. I actually enjoyed it though, and I did speak to my boss the other day, and he just went, "Oh, that's crap that was," and I was like, "Oh, but I enjoyed it."
I think I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I just thought it was different. The concept was a bit different, and like I say, 1990, and I watched it. The third thing on our list for me, I think that is arguably one of the best TV sci-fi shows ever made. I'm just going to throw that out there. Debate me, feel free. I know we've got our Star Treks, our Babylon 9, whatever. We've got all these. Is it Babylon 9?
Babylon 5.
Babylon 5. What's Babylon 9? Why is that in my head?
Deep Space Nine, are you thinking of?
I said that, and I was convinced it was a real thing.
Yeah.
I swear it's something. I'm not going to look it up. It'll be something random. We have all these sci-fi TV shows, but Quantum Leap.
Theorizing that one could time travel within his own lifetime, Dr. Sam Beckett stepped into the Quantum Leap accelerator and vanished.
For me, early on, me watching, I was just amazed by it. It's such a brilliant concept of this person that would leapfrog between bodies and have to complete these. It was like the A-Team. How every episode would be a new area, new people, a new love interest. and they'd have to solve this problem, whether it be local militia or a farmer who was being horrible to people or something. And then
Scott Bakula coming to terms with him having boobs, because I just remember him like in a mirror, like, oh,
he'd like go ooh, and he'd go, I've got a beard, and it'd always be a mirror. He'd find a mirror one team, be like, oh my god, yeah, I love it, I love it, and I think the enjoyment of Scott Bakula in that is one of the reasons I love Enterprise so much. I think he's a great actor. I think he plays a great Star Trek captain. Quantum Leap. Did you enjoy Quantum Leap?
I loved Quantum Leap, and I don't know if I dreamt this. I'm pretty sure I didn't. But they're remaking it, because the ending's not very good. They're sort of redoing it, yeah.
And he's part of it. He's is in it. I don't know if he's going to play the. Maybe he'll be the new that dude. What was his title? He had some kind of. He was the space continuum jobby. What's it? I don't know. He had like a title, didn't he? General something. Or was he like a military thing? He was like a fuck knows.
They called him Ziggy or something, didn't they? Is that what?
Oh god!
Yeah, he died a few years ago.
He did, and he's such a good, such a great character. He was in Dean Stockwell. That was his name.
Yeah.
He was in Battlestar Galactica as well.
And Dune. The original Dune. Yeah.
So he played Admiral. He played Admiral. I forgot to speak. Admiral Al Calavici.
And he spoke to Ziggy, didn't he? That word.
Yes. Ziggy. I'll have to speak Ziggy this. And there was so Dean Stockwell and Scott Bakula, 97 episodes. Oh my! So it was on between 1989, and the reason I have it included in 1990 is because it came out late 89 and it was popular during early 1990. That's the thing you might find about this as well. It's not always necessarily what was released; it's what was popular at this particular time. But yeah, Dean Stockwell, fantastic. And there was a narrator as well that was in 65 episodes. I didn't realise that. Was there anyone else that was in a lot of episodes? No, there's people that were in like 3 or 4. I'm assuming just like bit part actors, because it was just them two, wasn't it, in different sort of places. Yeah, just Scott Bakula. How old is he now? 1954. He was born in 54, so he's like
nearly 70. 68.
He's pushing 70. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Wow. Right, let's skip and jump through these other bits and bobs I've got on here. Was you a fan of Crystal Maze?
I loved Crystal Maze. I didn't like Ed Tudor Paul, which was the second iteration. I liked Richard O'Brien best. You remember with the floppy hair, Ed Tudor Paul?
Carry on. I'm going to Google him.
Richard O'Brien was the best one because I always like to see a grown man arguing with his mum when his mum's not there, also playing the flute for some weird reason. But I always wanted to go on Crystal Maze when I was a kid, especially where they went to like the space level thing, and it were like controlling a little remote control car to like do some digging or something. I didn't like the Amazon zone because they were always just bamboo water puzzles and a bit crap. The one with Ed Tudor Paul though did have the under the sea sunken ship vibe one, and that were a good place and all that.
Which one had the page 3 girl?
Fort
Boyard. Was it Fort
I'm going to say, I'm thinking of Fort Boyard, Melinda Messenger.
No, that's fine. That's Melinda Messenger. That was it. I remember just going, what is she doing that for? That was popular, though, because that was basically Crystal Maze, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Crystal Maze with tits.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, you went to tigers. I went to tits. What is going... That's how our brains work. Crystal Maze. I wasn't a big fan, but I knew a lot of people that did really, really like it.
We rewatched we started watching the remake that they did, the Richard Ayoade one. It were alright, but we just fell off it. So
yeah, that's fair enough. I think a lot of stuff, even though the concept is good and you feel like it would work, it kind of loses its edge a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You've added this in, so you go for it.
Yeah. Speaking of turtles, which we wasn't, but we did earlier. Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles came out on the 3rd of January, the day before my birthday.
Turtles? What is Hero Turtles? I ask you.
That is the British Broadcasting Standards Agency, or whatever it's called, the certification place, got a manager. I've watched loads of stuff about this before. I'm not even going to read this off here because I know it in my head. And he was just an arse, and he thought that if ninjas, for some reason, he was very racist against ninjas. He thought it was going to incite violence and weapons and all sorts of crap.
People painting themselves green.
Yeah, he did not like this, so he made him change it to Hero Turtles. So if you're American and you listen to this, Google that and then listen to our theme song where they replace Ninja Turtles.
Hero Turtles.
Yeah,
Teenage
we really
Mutant
fit.
Hero Turtles. Heroes in a half shell. No? Turtle
Yeah.
power. They're the world's most fearsome fighting team. Oh, fuck off.
Yeah.
I could carry on all day with that. I love it.
Yeah, I love this series. I thought it actually came out before this. I thought this was like 80s, like Thundercats.
I would have said I would have just gone, 87 or something like that. Yeah,
I didn't realise it was this late. I mean, I'm guessing it were out before in America, like by a couple of years or something at least. But we got it in on the 3rd of January 1990, and this was most of my Christmas presents and birthday presents and life for years.
For a few years, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Just a great show. I mean, let's be honest, just fun. It was you had little Splinter there chatting away, little rat boy going for it. I loved it.
Yeah. One of the best series.
And people often, so if you're a little bit younger, so like people your age, who's like just that couple of years younger than I am, they often say that Turtles was their favourite show.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas for me, I was a bit more He-Man, Thundercats, Transformers, but for like I say, for your age, this would have been your show.
Yeah.
But for me, obviously, I'm a little bit older, so I would have had those other.
Yeah.
And I think it's often due to what age you're exposed, isn't it?
Mm.
Very much so. Yeah, solid show.
Yeah,
it's fucking brilliant.
Speaking of solid shows, do you want to do the next one?
I do. Yeah. Baywatch. Come on.
Yeah.
The theme tune it's like half in my head, and I can sort of nearly sing it. I feel like humming it, but it'll just go wrong. Baywatch, a series made by NBC United States, makes its British television debut on ITV. Oh, I remember it had adverts, didn't it? The series proves, just reading this by the way, the series proves popular with ITV viewers, with audience figures regularly reaching 13 million. That was like a quarter of the population of the UK, wasn't it?
That was at least 30 million men as well.
Yes. Women just out with the mates, men are going, Baywatch is on. When NBC cancels the series after its first, did it?
Yeah.
I
never knew this as well. Look.
So it got cancelled after its first season. Why would you cancel that? Yeah. Pamela Anderson. Was she in the first season?
Maybe. I don't know.
Because there was a few different ones, wasn't it? ITV teams up with an international consortium of broadcasters. So ITV saved Baywatch.
Yeah. Can you believe it?
Fuck? Who knew that? I don't know anyone that knows that.
Yeah.
I've learnt a few things today.
Yeah.
That's the best fact so far.
Yeah.
I can't believe that. And it just carried on. I mean, so it had an 11-year run.
It finished in 2001. That's the second thing that I can't believe.
But also,
I would have said it's 95 or something.
There was also Baywatch Nights, wasn't there? And there was like something else, or like it ended up being like a detective show or something.
Yeah.
I just remember it for Pamela Anderson jigging her bazonkers on the beach. That's all I get from that. And there was a few others I think that were probably arguably prettier than Pamela Anderson, but that was a lot of young teenagers' first exposure to a blonde with big tits and an arse.
And David Hasselhoff.
Yeah. David Hasselhoff, utter legend. I've seen him on stage. He's amazing. Yeah.
Straight off back of Knight Rider.
Yeah, Knight Rider, Puff, Baywatch. Fucking smashed them both, didn't I? Absolutely amazing. I've no regrets from watching Baywatch at all, to be honest with you. It's a solid show. And you've added this other one on as well.
Yeah, I thought it just... And a nice little fun tidbit for everyone who's English. Probably not going to mean out to America. Phil and Grant debuted in EastEnders on the 20th of February 1990. That's how long they was in EastEnders.
Couldn't give two shits about that.
But today, you are looking a little bit silly.
Other than it exists. Yeah. But today it's important because we needed it, and I'm glad you found it. So Phil and Grant, obviously the brothers, the notorious, bold, angry brothers.
Yeah, Steve McFadden and what's he called now? The one
Gates McFadden. She was in Star Trek.
Yeah.
No, not that one. No. I
What's
don't
it
fucking
called? Ross Kemp.
That's it,
Steve
Ross Kemp.
McFadden,
Yeah. So we're going on to our oh god, I forgot we had music. We'll do a quick on music. Right. News. I actually really like this first bit. This was the first McDonald's to open in Moscow in what was, I believe, the Soviet Union at the time. It wasn't like Russia as we know it, is it now?
When it crumbling around this time, it was
I believe,
coming to an end.
Yeah, I believe so. But yeah, the first McDonald's, and I think there was just queues because they were always very anti-capitalism, weren't they? And to allow McDonald's was basically to allow capitalism to walk in your front door and set up a fucking shop.
McDonald's and Coca-Cola are like the poster boys for capitalism as well.
Of course they are. Yeah, of course they are. But yeah, there was queues of people going to the first McDonald's. Why not? This was a more important. To be fair, actually, that is the more you look at it, the more you realise that is fairly significant. But more significant is after the Second World War, Germany got split into two. They just went, "Fuck you, Germany." They cut it into two with a massive wall and just went, "Russia, you have that." And then the US, France, and UK had the other half. I'm still not 100% sure why they did that. I don't know my history quite well enough. I feel like well, they're just arguing. We have it. We stopped the war. America's like, no, we did, and UK's like, no, you just did it for money. France were like, we were getting the shit kicked out of us, but they all just went, so we'll take Germany because they clearly, a lot of them don't know what they're doing with themselves. Let us look after it and nurture it. And Russia were like, no, we'll have it. So they just built a wall down the middle. That's my uneducated, loose guess to what happened to Germany. And you know what? I reckon it's fairly accurate. But
get Russ or Rich or whatever we were called to fact check it and put it in comments.
Rich.
What's it called? Rich. That's
Rich.
it. Sorry, Rich.
Rich. Yeah. Second comment will sort that out for us. Just make it a paragraph, though. We don't need a wiki page.
We're only going to skim it. Yeah.
We'll just approve it, and that's it.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, I'm not going to hear the end of this. So, US, France, and the UK basically allow Germany to reunify, and of course, the Berlin Wall got took down, and Germany became what it is today. Although, pretty sure it still suffers in some regards, as the eastern side is still significantly less developed and slightly poorer than the western side, which is. It's just Korea, but it's on the other way around. It's just the other way around, isn't it?
Also, I've just remembered something. Didn't David Hasselhoff go to knock the wall down?
Didn't he sing a fucking song?
Yeah.
And we're looking for freedom. Yeah. Wasn't it that one? I'm sure it was that one. Oh, God.
David Hasselhoff twice and Turtles twice. What more?
He's on the wall like that with his sledgehammer, just buffing it down. He did it all by himself.
Yeah.
You can have. This was a funny one. I thought People's Choice TV Awards. Bill Cosby won. I bet they regretted that one. That was I bet they're all. Did you fucking vote for him? Yeah. Yes. Did you? Yes. That's a sore one.
In other news, Ralph Harris and Jimmy Savile were also liked that year.
I know. What is happening there? Next bit. That's a bit more your.
Japanese filmmaker Akira Kurosawa wins the Academy Award for a Lifetime Achievement. Now, do you know what he won the award for in his lifetime, other than achieving it?
What you mean, film-wise?
Yeah.
I mean, was he the Seven Samurai? Was he that one?
Yeah.
Or was that someone else?
Yeah.
I think that was his big one, wasn't it? But there's a few different ones.
Extremely influential as a director. He influenced so many other people, Tarantino and... Yeah, like everyone, just basically robbed him.
So Yojimbo, I believe. Okay, so I'm looking at his list and trying to think of any if I remember, and the ones that strike. Yojimbo, Seven Samurai, Rashomon, and he's been doing this from 1941 as well. Yeah. There's definitely a couple I remember on there. When did he die? When did he die? Did he die?
I'm guessing if it's from 1940 and he was making films then as an adult.
Oh, 98. He died in 1998. He was 88 years old. Wow, yeah. But he got the Lifetime Achievement Award, which is obviously very, very Academy Award as well, which is obviously the big one, I guess, isn't it? For those who care. So you added this one, if you don't mind me saying it. So 11th of February, live coverage is aired of the African National Congress, the ANC. You often hear that referred to as leader Nelson Mandela. Free Nelson Mandela. I got to add that in there.
Yeah.
From Victor Versten prison near Cape Town, South Africa. Obviously a legend for Africa and all the apartheid and all the rights and all the rest of it. South Africa's just a fucking mess. As far as I'm aware, it's still pretty much a mess now. Still not the best. Going over to this country, the second Battle of Trafalgar, probably not quite as serious as the first one. A massive anti-poll tax demonstration in Trafalgar Square, London, turns into a riot. 471 people injured. 341 are arrested. Wouldn't you like to be involved in something that you believed in and get arrested for? Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, if it were good enough.
That's a bucket list thing for me. I would love to be like, what? They're banning cheese? And just be like there at the front line, just going, we want cheese. You know, cheddar rights, all this kind of stuff, you know. I'd just be there. I've never actually found anything that I'm willing to do just yet, but maybe there'll be something kind of a wild thing, just to be like a badge of honor. Got arrested because I was on about banning cheese. You know, we saved the cheese. Cheese won't ever get banned. Just but if anyone's worried, cheese ain't gonna get banned. But I want to be there. So we're gonna go on to music. Would you like to start with?
Yeah.
Feel free to sing any that you remember.
Right. Starting January, top one. I said this at work yesterday or the day before, not knowing that it was on this list because we was doing a quiz, and the people I was doing the quiz with looked at me as if to say, "What the fuck is this? How do you know this and why?" Everybody knows this. It's New Kids on the Block, Hang Tough. And I'm not going to... I even did the dance. I did the dance at work, but...
Could you do it now?
I could, but I've got my headphones in, and I've had a busy day.
And you're back 13, because you're over 30. I understand it. So. New Kids on the Block, Hanging Tough.
I've got Sinead O'Connor as well. Nothing Compares to You. I quite like that song. I remember that one.
So out of all this list of songs, we'll pick the best out of these 3 months. This was I did the research on this. So this was what was big in the top 40. So what was at the top? Now I looked at the top sort of 10 for January, February, March, and I took out the songs which I thought were interesting or memorable, and I put them in here. So it's not the top 10 for each one. I didn't want to go into it too much. I just thinking to myself, these are the ones that we're picking. So, New Kids on the Block, Hanging Tough. And you just mentioned Sinead O'Connor, Nothing Compares to You.
Yep.
Banger right there.
Yeah.
Come on, that is a classic.
Everyone knows that song. Yeah.
I mean, we all know she's crazy now, and her son died recently, which is obviously tragic. Depression and what have you. But what have you? Sorry, that sounds like I'm shrugging it off. I'm not shrugging it off. It's a massive deal or something like that. But yeah, there's Nothing Compares to You. I would say that there's nobody in the UK that hasn't heard that song.
Yeah.
Amazing song. He appears in many films, soundtracks, all the rest of it. Just an absolute amazing tune. Did you mention Kylie Minogue, Tears on My Pillow?
I did not. On purpose.
Feel a bit upset about that because also Jason Donovan, When You Come Back to Me, was also popular in January. Clearly coming off the back of Neighbours. On that one.
That's why they left. Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, they did a big song together, didn't they?
Especially for You.
Especially for you. Yeah. That's such a good song as well. It's a really shit cheesy, but it's a good song. For obviously that cheesy 90s love song. Any in February you want to mention?
No, because
none
of them. I do know some of them. I've got my favourite wave. I'll let you guess which one you think's my favourite.
Okay, I think your favourite's Technotronic. So Beats International. This is Jam Hot. This is Jam Hot. And it's so good. Like the thing is with these as well is I know a lot of these tunes, but I don't know the titles. So I'm looking them up and going, I remember that one.
Yeah.
Phil Collins, I Wish It Would Rain Down. Absolute amazing tune by Phil Collins. They're arguably one of his better ones. Michael Bolton, I don't really give a shit about Michael Bolton. How Am I Supposed to Live Without You? Good song. Technotronic. It's Before the Night Is Over. Get Up. It was that way. It's so good. It's such a good song. And Mantronics featuring Wondrous, Got to Have Your Love, another amazing song. So if I remember, I'll put this list on the YouTube description. Just have a look. Oh my god, so good. Go for March. Tell me about March.
My favourite is the first one in March, which is the B-52s and Love Shack.
I'm going to say that's a basic bitch choice.
Yeah, that is on the radio all the time, and I always sing to that song. I love Love Shack.
It is a great song. Good video as well, but I'm going to say, out of all this lot, that is the basic bitch choice. And it doesn't surprise... I mean, I get why you chose it, but at the same time, I was hoping you might say something else. I don't even know what. Just something else.
Out of all of these, I think I know the last one, but off the names, I can't even think what these could be.
You don't know? I got the power!
Oh, is it that?
Yeah, it's that one. So, B-52's Love Shack. So, March, Snap, I've Got the Power. Fucking amazing song. It's so good. So good. Classic. Oh, I think... Anyway, so we've got Candy Fields, Strawberry Fields Forever. Sorry, Candy Flip with Strawberry Fields Forever. You must know that one.
Nope. Sing it.
Strawberry Fields Forever.
I thought that were Beatles.
Well, I'm assuming that they re-released it.
No,
that was popular. Do you not remember Jive Bunny and the Master Mixers?
Nope, sing it.
I can't, because it's all remixes of old songs, and I'd listened to a couple of them, and none of them really kind of resonate that much with me, but they were quite popular at the time, and there's loads of them as well. There's too many of them. Yeah. Do you know the last one?
I think I do, but as a dance tune.
Yeah. So Guru Josh in Infinity, it is actually like a dance tune, but it's kind of weirdly trance sort of dance. Yeah, you'd have to look it up. I probably won't put.
You could sing it, I suppose.
No, because I can't. I listen to it, and I can't really remember it, to be honest with you. What's your favourite song out of January, February, March? Then out of this lot,
I'm gonna pick two out of this. I'm still gonna go with New Kids on the Block, because why not? And B-52's Love Shack. I'm gonna stick with them.
Okay, so they're your two big ones. I'm gonna say Nothing Compares to You and. Stressful this is. So I really like the Beats International featuring Linda Layton. This is Jam Hot. But I think Snap the Power is something which people would heard more of. So Sinead O'Connor, Snap the Power, they're the two for me that kind of really stand. They just really stand out for me. Absolute amazing tunes. Okay, so we're done now, if you were curious, if anyone's wondering. We're done. We've been through films, games, TV, news, music. Really fun to go through those and look back. I don't know if we'll do the next following months for our next edition of this when we do that. Maybe we'll jump a year or something. Yeah. I don't know, because... Then again, it should a lot of it, because the thing is as well, in February, Sinead O'Connor was still popular, but I left it out. So, like in April, it might end up being that a lot of these are still there. Because years ago, people didn't realise this, but sometimes a song would be released and be in the charts for like 12 months. It would just sit there. People would just steadily, slowly buy it, and it would just sit there. There's the Kevin Costner Robin Hood song, fucking Bryan Adams. That was like one of the biggest like singles ever, wasn't it? It's seen the charts I think it might still be there actually.
When it like 26 months or 40 months
it was
or something like that.
Ridiculous. It just slowly made its way out. Like, is it coming? No, still in the top 10. I know people that went to see that film like 4 or 5 times. What you do in your life, you don't watch something else. So it was a good film, though, to me. I can sit down and watch it. To be fair, I quite enjoyed it. Great cast. Morgan Freeman was in that as well, wasn't he? As the he was a Muslim warrior that owed his life to Robin Hood, something like that. I think they gave him some weird racist name in it. I don't know. The Moor. They called him a Moor. That was it. It was a Moor. That was some sort of like term for his people or something. I don't think this was derogatory. I think it's just the way they would describe him. Sort of brilliant film. Karina really likes that film actually, but it's one of them like old school Top Gun type films where all the women like it, don't they?
Yeah.
Dirty Dancing, Top Gun, Ghost, all that shit.
Pretty Woman.
Pretty Woman's on there and all. Yeah. Funnily enough. Brilliant going through films, especially I think for me anyway. So a big thanks for joining us at this look back at the beginning of 1990. Make sure you catch up on our weekly newscast that we're obviously going to be doing. You can find us all over the place: Spotify, YouTube. We're now on Apple Podcasts. Couldn't do that originally, but we're up on there now. So catch you next time. See you later.
Bye bye.